This video will show you how to organize your computer files and folders so that you have an efficient system for storing and accessing them that'll help keep your computer running smooth. That's coming up. The home folder is where your files are stored. In this folder, you see Apple gives you a default set of folders like Documents and Pictures. These are a great place to start organizing your files by creating more useful folders inside of these. Let's take a real-world look at doing this together. There's no right or wrong way to organize your files. I came up with a strategy. I like to create folders for people and devices to help separate my files. Here's an outline of a folder structure to give you an idea for yours. Don't worry if you couldn't read that. Here's a link to an image of this folder structure you can download. Let's organize a Documents folder that is currently unorganized and a little messy. First, I'll create the folders we need. I'll be back after I do this. Okay, I have our folders. I'll go through each file in my Documents folder and put it into the proper place. Let's do that together. Alright, our first two files are logins. So we're going to select those, click and drag as it scrolls down until we find the logins folder. There it is. We're going to drop that in there when it's selected in blue. Now these aren't essentially necessarily logins. These are actually login credentials for a router. So I might put a new folder in there called router, Wi-Fi router. And this will make more sense as we add some more logins. We'll see we subdivide these folders into folders that make sense for us to be able to find them later on easier. Now we keep going, and this is for my wife, gift ideas for my wife, so I'm going to put that in private. So we're going to scroll down, drop that in private. Back to the top, we've got emergency info. I'm going to put that in private as well. Jackson gift ideas. Drop that in private. Loss of a job contingency plan. I'm going to put this into the work folder. Little Red Truck is work for me, so I'm going to put that into work as well. Cub Scouts. Now Cub Scouts is an activity. It's a folder that already existed, but this should probably go in my son's activity folder. So I'm going to look for my son AJ. Here is AJ. And I created these subfolders already. There's nothing in them. I looked at my files and realized what I was going to need. So I've got a Cub Scouts folder because it's an activity he's involved in. So I'm just going to grab all of these, select them, and drag them into the AJ folder. Now, if I leave the cursor over the AJ folder while I'm still holding down on the button, you can see it kind of expands and shows me the choices I have. And I'm going to drop them all into Cub Scouts. And there they are now, and I can delete this folder here. And you might see these little tildes in front of the name, and those are pretty handy. It's a way to move a directory or file to the very top of a list. And here I've got logins, and I've got quite a few logins, so I'm going to select the directory, then I'm going to hold down the command button and type A to select all of them. And I'm going to scroll down to my logins folder, and I'm going to drop them in there. Now these are logins, most of them, for websites. So what I'm going to do to just kind of tidy this up, because I'm going to have a few different folders, I'm going to create one for logins. Call them website to differentiate them from the parent folder of logins. And now I'll just grab all these and put them into the new website logins folder. And so I click on one, I hold shift, and then I click on one below, and it's a way to select multiple. There's another way to do it. You can just kind of click and drag to select multiple files. Okay, let's go back to the top. This is empty now, so we can delete it. This is a work PDF, so I'm going to put that in work. And now we got Jackson teacher evaluations, my son. So I'm going to put that into Jackson Jr. I don't have any subfolders for Jackson Jr., so let's create one called School. Drop that in there. Now this is a letter from Abraham Lincoln to his son's teacher. I'm going to put that in private since I don't want to show favoritism for my boys. Now this is AJ's baptism certificate. So let's put that into let's put that into AJ. And I don't have a folder that really fits for that, so I'm going to create one called Church. AJ train ticket. So let's drop that into his folder, and this was for arts and crafts, so I'm going to put it in there, and so was this, so we'll just drop that there so we keep it nice and clean. Here's a couple recipes. We've got a recipes folder, more recipes, more recipes, more recipes. So let's put those into the recipes. So you can see I'm just going to go down and keep going down until I organize all of these files, and my computer will be tidy. I'll be able to find them faster. And let's take a look after I'm done. I'll be right back. So I'm almost finished, but really quick I wanted to show you, I came across an application that somehow got into my documents folder, and that should really go in my applications folder, which is one of the default folders Apple gives you when you set your computer up for the first time. So I can just select that file, drag it into applications, and in my favorites sidebar, and it's telling me, well, there's an older item, do you want to replace it? And yeah, if it's older, I'll go ahead and replace that. I just wanted to show you that, so I'm going to go back to my documents and keep cleaning it out, and I'll be back when I'm done. Alright, I'm all done, and you can see I've got a nice, clean, organized documents folder. And I would do the same thing for pictures. I would do the same thing in terms of organized by people. So I'd have and devices. So I'd have AJ, Jackson Jr., Robin, myself. I might do a Canon. We have an SLR. So I might organize my photos. Jackson iPhone. Maybe a Samsung Note for my wife, or an iPad. And every time I download pictures from those devices, I would put them in there, and I know where to find them. Last thing I want to show you is the desktop. It's important to have a clean desktop. It does help your computer run faster. So the best thing you can do is to just organize those files that end up on your desktop. I'm guilty of it too. It's an easy place to download files or copy files, and do try to keep it lean and tidy, even if you just create one folder and put all of the things that you accumulate in that folder to sort through later. That's great. If you want more useful tech tips, subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next week for another problem-solving tip.